Hi, my name's Huckster, and we've been playing this co-op game for about a month, since the 16th of May, and we've pretty much come to the end of the current game, where next we could kill Ashbourne and that would be it. We haven't done it because we can, and from what I understand, if I do that, I won't be able to liberate the last two villages, Crasmere and Farnsworth. Now we had Farnsworth, but unfortunately it was taken the last session because they were more powerful than I could handle on my own. We've been pottering around, just going over a few things in the game. Now, I would still recommend it. I still think it's an incredible game with hundreds of hours of playability. But I would say there are some issues. My one is probably food. So I'm going to potter over to our food output. Now I think we've actually managed to get the villagers, to actually make some of the foods that we require. So anything with a buff: productivity, combat attributes, skill points, combat attributes, and combat attributes. So yeah, these three are definitely useful. They sometimes make them, they sometimes don't. So these two from the inn are invaluable. We've also built a couple of taverns, making fine vegetable stew. Now, I think we've already came to the conclusion that this is a lot of building for a very little output. Basically having the ability to build or produce a limited amount of food with a massive floor plan. So, how to improve that? I don't know, more cauldrons, better output. I'm just going to keep an eye on this guy, see what he's about to do. Alright, he did take the food. Now Joe, I think, overcame the issue of them not using these by actually having some of the villagers allocated to the inn and the tavern. I'm not entirely sure how he did that though. So I'll just have a little wander around, see if I can work it out. Maybe go in here, buildings. In. No, okay. So that was something I'll have to look into. So food. So the inn and the tavern essentially produce the same thing. The tavern seems to be the upgrade and has a wider selection. Now, I was really disappointed with the bakery, because when you go into the menu, you have a wide selection of food available, but none of them have any buffs. So to get that, to have these being made seems, I'd say, underwhelming. So yeah, some buffs: productivity, skill gain, combat, anything, just something. Now to get this working, we had to put it into a separate settlement, which doesn't seem to be working at the moment. Flour. So everything but flour. I'm pretty sure we put in one of the threshers into this particular settlement. bread, there we go. A thresher. Top up 90 grains. So we've got one Eliza, pretty much doing everything. Now a few people who have actually come into chat have said that the only way to guarantee that the villagers will produce food is to set it up in a different settlement. Which has been working, just doesn't seem to be working at the moment. I think the problem is she hasn't got any food in her barn, so she's probably hungry, so she's not doing anything. So there she is, okay. Just stand still. I do hate the way they walk away from you as soon as you walk towards them. He's got some berries. Okay, so it feels to me like a lot of work to deal with the basic necessities, i.e. food. I'll give her some bread, give her some of that. And productivity. I don't think I've got anything to do with productivity at the moment. Oh, there we go. So yeah, inventory. So hopefully once they've gone. Right, so go back to work. What is she going to do now? She is delivering bread. Yeah, so basically to make bread I had to put a wheat farm, a thresher, a barn. Let's just actually have a look at it. Bakery, that's the barn, the farm, housing tent, a thresher, a well and the windmill, all into the settlement, which is basically here, all within the main settlement, because no one was making anything in the bakery at the time. Now the one thing I do dislike about the food system is the need to have to go up and add in all the individual ingredients. So you've got to remember what they need. The same applies to all the food systems. You have to come up, cranberry jam. Right, did I keep cranberry jam? Yes, that one's got cranberry jam because I quite like that one. All of them have that same need. You've got to add each individual ingredients. The same with the smelting and ore production, turning ore into ingots. And we were talking about it a couple of days ago. This system seems to be far less effective than this. Being able to turn flax and hemp into rope just by adding it into local storage. I really don't know why the food and the ore doesn't have this same very simple system. So while we're talking about this, I also find it incredibly, right, this is a known bug, I think. Hugo Hugo is desperately trying to do some crafting, and he'll stand there for hours, and the only way to stop him from doing that is to pretty much turn him into a companion, move him away, and then I've had people starve to death and then he'll literally go off and do something else. So yeah, highly frustrating. Okay, the other thing I find quite annoying is with the armour and probably the weapons manufacturing. This great big building. Right, so he might be, he's definitely not doing anything, Charlie. Which Charlie is he? Hildebrandt, okay. Let's have a look. Idle. So why is he idle? Not enough resources, so he could make one of these. So at the moment it looks like they are loading up, but the amount of times I've come over here and they've literally taken out materials that I need to go into these. So I want to be able to have local storage, 3,000, great. I want to be able to allocate amounts. So yeah, still a lot of issues with development. See, he got so hungry he literally walked away having done nothing. So I can't actually make this because I can't put the materials into my inventory. So yeah, I just want to be able to make all of this from local storage. So I can load all this up, either lock it into place by having a minimum amount and a maximum amount, or just having it put in here and locked, never to be removed. I do not want any of this taken out and put back into a general storage, which they seem to do all the time. You know, I'm like, it's unbelievably frustrating the amount of times I've come up here trying to make stuff and someone's come along and removed it. So it's working. It's not broken. Matt and I had this discussion over what working as intended, not working as you'd want it to work, or literally broken. So kite shields. So we definitely need a few more. What are the things I quite liked? These, because their strength required 3, which is basically what a lot of my guys have. So 10, I think, just so I can find them. So I've got 10 of them somewhere, so at least I know that there are 10 out there somewhere. And hopefully, you know, while I'm doing this, I've got to say, over the last 6-8 weeks, the developers have been doing an incredible job on making significant ongoing improvements. But you know, we're gamers. We want things to be improved. We want it to be perfect, and it never will be. No game is perfect, but there are some aspects of the game that are quite frustrating, and it seems that the food supply chain and the ingot supply chain is fundamentally flawed in comparison to the material supply chain. Why does flax turn into rope one way and ore turns into ingot another way? I've no idea. It just doesn't make sense. The turning flax into rope makes much more sense and seems to work, whereas the ore one, the only way to get enough ore is to make it yourself. Like Levi came in and made a couple of 100 units of ore because I was just, you know. Let's have a look. Yeah, this is often the case. just come up. They've got fuel in there, but nothing's being made. So we're constantly wasting fuel while they literally haven't put anything in there. What about this one? Not entirely sure. I think that just needs it just needs wood to go in. So that's got bronze ingots being made. That's cool. What about this one? It's got peat. Right, didn't mean to press that button. What, making an iron? So yeah, some of it's working, some of it isn't. You know, how many? You know, trying to set up this priority system to, you know, the discussions and disagreements over the priority system. Should we have a dedicated hunter? I think yes. One or two hunters doing nothing else. One or two cooks doing nothing else. You know, just having a cook cooking, and then a bunch of plebs running around delivering stuff. But it's hard to know. Some people say, oh, it works this way. Some people go, oh, it works the other way. So by that I mean having dedicated or not. So this guy is going to do everything, you know, as a labourer. This guy's only going to cook. You know, it's weird because obviously no one really knows for sure. Now, what we did on this one, we set up everything here essentially. There are obviously some trappers out here, foragers, more trappers, woodcutters. We obviously had to move the iron mines out further out. These have been depleted now. We've got our the iron settlement down here is definitely working. We've got a hardwood settlement out here that's definitely working. I turned this Hunter's Lodge, which is the tier 3 hunter camp, into a dedicated hunter settlement, and that seems to be working. So I think, because I'm going to be starting the game again when they bring out the new updates, which are looking really good, really promising. And what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to start here. I'm going to build this area into food production, had food farms, smokers, cauldrons, and eventually inns and taverns here, and then this will be production. So I won't have like hemp and flax here, I'll just have it down here. This will be just solely for the production of goods, armour, equipment, and this is just going to be, I'm going to essentially turn them into 2 settlements and set up deliveries, because I think that's working. One thing I was trying to get some spices, and I spent an hour trying to find them. Now, granted, I've got a lot of barns, a lot of storage. I literally could not find where the traded goods ended up, and I think it was Joe again, because he is our master supplier, chief supplier officer, and we basically turned around by going here to the raw ingredients, and the only way we could get it was by turning it on here, so we could find out where it ended up, rather than where it came to. So I am definitely looking forward to more game, for want of a better term. The next stage, what happens after you kill Ashbourne? What's more content? I like our settlement. I think we've done a really good job. This has literally been a team effort. and under the circumstances, I think we as a team over the last 4 to 5 weeks have learned a lot. Discussions, a couple of arguments and disagreements going, yeah, no, that just doesn't work, or I've tried it for 4 days and it's not been working. I've learned so much that I genuinely believe that the next settlement that hopefully we create will be an improvement, and I will keep this one ready for the next big update, the next chapter in the game. And I just thought I'd take this opportunity just to point out some of the issues I think we've had, some of the solutions that we've created. I also wanted to say a big thank you to all the subscribers who have felt that my channel is worth keeping an eye on. I do appreciate that. Everyone who's been involved in chat, everyone who's made comments and liked any of the videos that we put out, the team, the group of guys that have joined Discord, who have actively been involved in chat and in game and in co-op, and anyone who wants to join us in future. You know, this game, I think, and most of the guys I play with seem to think that this game is better in co-op as a team effort. Not to say that it's not a great game in solo, but having a team to help manage the settlement and get actively involved in combat just makes it more fun. You can have it on a higher setting, make it harder, and some of the battles can be a bit frantic and a bit scary. Big thank you to the guys at Donkey Crew for producing such an awesome game. This is wonderful, and I really do hope you guys stick it out. I love the idea of siege warfare, siege battles. I think it's going to be truly epic. But yeah, just a great big thank you to everyone who has been supporting the channel over the last 6-8 months. I really do appreciate it. If you do enjoy my content, do please consider liking and subscribing. If you do want to get more actively involved in our community, please do join our Discord. But most importantly, thank you very much for watching.